Hello campers, Dr. Dickey here. I haven't done a video in a while and wanted to get everybody up to date on what's going on. So the solar system is up and running, the battery has been installed, and we're running more or less off grid for most of the house. The things that aren't off grid are the air conditioning, hot water heater, the oven, the dryer, and that's primarily it. Almost everything else is off grid. So one of the ways to get off grid is to run the solar panel inlet to here, and then that is, let me turn a light on. So this is the solar panel, and what it does is, right now I'm only using half. These 5 breakers are actually selected to, it says generator, but for us it's off grid, it's offline, it's on the solar system. And that feeds the lines that were selected in the panel over here. I'm not using these. Why? Well, because I said I would give you the benefit of my ignorance. And the reason this is so disturbing is that I, of all people, know better than this. And yet, I was so focused, I messed up. And that is, I ran the line from the shed all the way into the garage, over there to where the panel is, to have it hooked up for our 120. But I was so focused on the fact that I was only using a 3,000 watt inverter because I knew I could run the circuits in the house, except for those big ones, like I said, the hot water heater, the dryer, the oven, and the air conditioning. I only ran, I bought a 2-conductor 6-gauge wire. I could have bought a 3-conductor 6-gauge wire. In fact, I almost did, and that would have given me the capability of running twice as much down the road, or at least would have given me the freedom to be able to do that. So it was stupid on my part, and more than likely next year I'm going to dig that up and go ahead and run a 3-conductor wire, so that down the road, if I want to add more circuits, I'm able to do that, and I'm able to get more power into it. But here it is. That is the battery. See if I can get this door to stay open. That's the battery. I have installed it. It has been installed. It is up and running. There's the midnight solar system. Right now it's putting out about 21 amps to charge the battery back up from last night. It says that the input voltage is about 64 because it's still only 10 o'clock in the morning. It's going to get up to about 75 volts. And the battery right now is at 55.4, and it should go up to 56.7 at the max. That is the shunt from Batrium. There is the Batrium BMS, and there is the inverter with the 120 going out. And see, I just have a 2-conductor and ground rather than a 3-conductor and ground. Just stupid on my part, stupid on my part. These are the long mons that monitor the battery voltages, each of the individual pack voltages, and maintains it. So, now near the end of May, what is today, 22nd of May, so we're almost at the end of May. The temperature outside is going to get up near 90, and will be in the 90s shortly when we get into June. And the problem with 90s are okay, but you don't want the battery to get above 104, and these things also have to be able to get rid of heat. And so even so in here, I don't know if you can read that or not, but it's right now it's about 33 degrees. We don't want to go above 42, I think is the max. So what am I doing? Right now I'm putting in, I had put in yesterday, I'm going to put another one in. These are dryer vents, but I'm putting them in to allow air to come in, and of course they're going to prevent rain from coming in as well, as you can see the way it is right there. that it will allow air to come in without rain to come in, and it's been caulked around it and sealed. I'm going to put another one in the back there. I'm not going to put the doors on the cabinet that all this is in. I just feel there's no reason to put the doors on the cabinet. But I want to put another vent down there and just keep the doors stored here. And then I'm going to, there's a little bit of a louver vent there, and there's a little bit of a louver vent here in the front, but I'm going to open up this area and I'm going to put a 10-inch louvered fan that will be temperature controlled, that will blow air out on the gable there, and then that should suck air in through those vents down low. And because they're in a sheltered area in the backyard, one of them will be over here in this back corner area where it's pretty sheltered over here. It stays cool. And then the other one will be back here where again it stays shaded and stays cool. So I need to do that pretty soon. The only other thing, well, of course, and I've got a battery built that I'm building that will run that fan, even though the fan will mostly run all the time when the sun is shining. I've also got this roof, because they always make these roofs in dark color. I've got to put some sort of shade device on top of that roof because it tends to get very, very hot. The sun is so high in the sky now that it will get really, really hot, and that really is what heats up the shed. So I've got ordered from Home Depot polycarbonate panel that I'm going to mount on this roof on the northern exposure. The northern exposure of that roof to make sure it stays in shade all the time. The other side I've got covered by the solar panels, and they more or less shade it. Though I may move those down some and move this panel over some, maybe. And I think that'll help tremendously. So let me show you the little batteries packs. I've got a solar charge controller. The battery will probably be mounted on top of this desk that I have all my stuff in. And you can see the hole saw that I'm going to use to cut a hole for another one of these to be mounted. So I'm going to mount the battery there. The solar from the roof is going to come in through the peak in the roof right there and come down to a solar charge controller I'll mount on the wall there, and then to the battery, and then it'll come out and run over the roof over to the gable at this end that will run the fan that will be temperature controlled and come on when the temperature gets over probably about 95 degrees. Let me show you the batteries. I have purchased 20 of these, which are e-bike battery packs, 20 cells in each one. I purchased 10 of them, sorry, not 20, 10 of them. And so that should have 200 cells, which I was going to use to build this battery pack. And these e-cells are not as good. They're the same cells as I had from the medical packs that I used to build the battery that's out there in the shed, but they're just not in as good a condition. They're just not as good. I need to do a video showing you how to open these packs up. There's a couple things you need to know to be able to do them easily. But the cells that are inside them were not as good as previous cells. But I had 200 cells that I didn't use in my battery pack that were from those medical packs that I had. So I built these 4 packs here, 48 cells in each one, and that's going to be the battery that I'm using. 4 of them will be 12 volt. It'll be a 12 volt battery that's going to be running in there. I've already got the solar charge controller. I already have the 1 kilowatt inverter. I've got a fan that's coming Monday with a temperature controller. So hopefully I can get all that stuff going. And again, I'll come up with a video. I'll show you how to open these packs up. I'm going to have to do that. Otherwise, like I said, everything's working great. Running the house off grid, except for those few things. And I am very, very pleased. So I'll come out with a video soon showing you how to open those packs and an update on everything when I get the fan system running and everything else, okay? All right, till then, See you next time, guys.